Hello students, today we are going to discuss Unit 8 Arthropoda General Characters and Classification up to Classes, Onychophora Affinities, Insects of Economic Importance. This topic has been chosen from BSc First Year, Semester 1. Now, the objectives of this unit are, after studying this unit, you will be able to learn the vast assemblage of animals of phylum Arthropoda and the relationships between the various groups, the diversity in their habitat and habits that enable them to successfully flourish in the struggle for existence. Onychophora, its significance in the animal kingdom, about the insects that are productive, beneficial and harmful to man. Let us start with phylum Arthropoda. Arthropoda is the largest phylum in the animal kingdom, which comprises of insects, arachnids and crustaceans. Arthropods have hard external shells called exoskeletons, segmented bodies and jointed legs. Some familiar examples are prawns, butterflies, houseflies, spiders, scorpions, crabs, etc. They exhibit organ system level of organization. They are bilaterally symmetrical, triploblastic, segmented and coelomate. The coelomic cavity is blood filled. The body of arthropods is covered by chitin. The body consists of head, thorax and abdomen. There is an open circulatory system and so the blood does not flow in well defined blood vessels. Respiratory organs are gills, book lungs or tracheal system. Sensory organs like antenna, eyes, statocysts or balance organs are present. Excretion takes place through Malphizian tubules. They are mostly dioecious. Fertilization is usually internal. They are mostly oviparous. Development may be direct or indirect. The newly hatched youngs are similar to the adults except in size, color, absence of wings and reproductive organs. These are called nymphs. Example, grasshopper, cockroach. Many insects undergo complete metamorphosis, which includes the stages of egg, caterpillar or grub, pupa and adult. Examples are mosquito, housefly, butterfly, honeybee, etc. Some like aphids reproduce by parthenogenesis. Some arthropods exhibit parental care. The eggs are carried on until they are hatched. Now the classification. Phylum Arthropoda is divided into the following 7 subphyla: Onychophora, Tardigrada, Pentastomida, Trilobitomorpha, Chelicerata, Pycnogonidia and Mandibulata. Let us study one by one. Subphylum 1, Onychophora. The Onychophora is generally called as connecting link between annelids and arthropods. These show annelid, arthropod and molluscan characters. Originally, all species were included in a single genus called Peripatus, but now 12 different genera are recognized. At present, Peripatus occurs in Australia, Malaysia, Africa, South America, India, etc., exhibiting a discontinuous distribution. Now, what are the distinguishing characters? The body is worm-like, cylindrical and soft. External segmentation is absent. The skin is thrown into a number of fine transverse 178 ridges that bear papillae or tubercles. This gives the appearance of segmentation. The body is divided into an anterior indistinct head and an under segment elongated trunk. Exoskeleton is absent. Appendages or legs are unjointed, unlike other arthropods. Nephridia are the excretory organs. These are paired and segmentally arranged. The number of nephridia corresponds to the number of legs. Nervous system consists of suprapharyngeal ganglia or brain, 2 circumpharyngeal connectives and a pair of lateral longitudinal nerve cords. Sense organs consist of a pair of eyes, sensory papillae, and specialized sensory cells. Sexes are separate. Most of the species are viviparous while some are oviparous. Subphylum 2, Tardigrada. These animals are popularly called as bear animalcules or water bears. These are soft skin animals whose size does not exceed 1 millimeter in length. Segmentation is not visible and the body is not divisible into different regions. Anterior end is with a retractile snout and teeth. There are 4 pairs of short, stumpy, unsegmented legs which end in 2 or more claws. Respiratory and excretory systems are totally absent. Sense organs include a pair of eye spots. Sexes are separate. Gonads in both sexes open into the terminal part of intestine. Often females are more numerous than males. In some forms, males are unknown. Parthenogenesis is common. Development is direct. Subphylum 3, Pentastomida. These are commonly called tongue worms. These parasitic animals live in the lungs and nasal passages of vertebrates like snakes, dogs, foxes, crocodiles, etc. There are about 70 species in this group. The body is vermiform and unsegmented. It consists of a short cephalothorax and an elongated abdomen. The body is 2 to 13 centimeters in length. The alimentary canal is simple and straight, whose anterior end is modified to suck blood from the host. Respiratory, circulatory, excretory systems and sense organs are all absent. Sexes are separate. Fertilization is internal. Embryonated eggs are coughed or sneezed out or passed out along with the feces of the host. Subphylum 4, Trilobitomorpha. The trilobites are an extinct group. These are now represented by fossil trilobites. The body was oval, dorsiventrally flattened and divided into head, thorax and pygidium. It is usually 3 centimeters long. The most distinctive feature was the presence of 2 longitudinal grooves which divided the body into 3 lobes, a median or axial lobe with the main organs of the body and 2 lateral lobes on pleural lobes, that was respiratory and locomotory in function. This trilobed division of the body was the reason to name them trilobita. The trilobite fossils are found in preserved condition as the dorsal surface of the body was covered by a hard exoskeleton. The head was covered dorsally by a carapace or cephalic shield. The middle elevated region of carapace is called glabella. Subphylum 5, Chelicerata. The body is divided into a prosoma or cephalothorax and opistosoma. Opistosoma is divided into anterior mesosoma and metasoma. Typically, there are 6 pairs of jointed appendages on the cephalothorax. Antenna and mandibles are absent. Mouth parts and alimentary canal are suited for sucking the food. Subphylum 6, Pycnogonida. These are small, marine, spider-like arthropods commonly called as sea spiders. These are usually found crawling over seaweeds at the bottom of the sea, varying from tidal limits to great depths. The body consists of cephalothorax, 3 thoracic segments and a rudimentary abdomen. Respiratory and excretory organs are lacking. Nervous system has a brain, subesophageal ganglia in the cephalothorax. The 7th subphylum is Mandibulata. This is created to include all those animals with mandibles and antenna. These are terrestrial, aquatic and both fresh and marine water animals. The body is divisible into cephalothorax and abdomen or head, thorax and abdomen. Cephalic appendages are one or two pairs of antennae, a pair of mandibles, and one or two pairs of maxillae. This subphylum is again divided into 6 classes: Crustacea, Pauropoda, Diplopoda, Chelopoda, Symphila, and Insecta. Onychophora affinities. Onychophora is also called as Peripatus. This Peripatus was first discovered by Gilding in 1826. He considered it as a mollusk. Subsequently, Peripatus was placed in phylum Annelida. Annelidan affinities. Body is vermiform with truncated ends. A true head is absent. Body covered by a thin cuticle. The alimentary canal is straight and simple. Locomotion is slow and peristaltic as in earthworm. Nephridia are paired and segmentally arranged. Arthropodan affinities. Presence of antennae. The cuticle that covers the body has a thin deposit of chitin. Jaws are modified appendages. These are provided with striped muscles. Locomotion is by legs. The appendages are clawed. True coelom is confined to excretory and reproductive organs. Body cavity is a hemocoel. The peculiar salivary glands are supposed to be modified nephridia. Molluscan affinities. Onychophora was included in mollusca for possessing the following characters, but evidence proves that these resemblances are only superficial: slug-like appearance of the body, ladder-like nervous system as found in Polyplocophora and Prosobranchia. Insects of productive importance: silkworm and sericulture. Breeding and rearing of silkworms is known as sericulture. Because of its luster, beauty and durability, silk is being used since ages in the manufacture of clothes and is also used in some industries. Silk fiber is produced by the larva of the silk moth Bombyx mori. How the seeds are produced? Obtaining eggs from silk moths is called seed production. To obtain eggs, moths should be allowed to hatch from the cocoons. For this purpose, cocoons are kept in a cool, dry and dark place until the months emerge. Once the moths come out of the cocoons, they are transferred on to a cage made of cheesecloth. Male and female moths mate and the female moth lays 400 to 500 eggs. Care is taken to see that the mating is between healthy moths which are free from diseases and malformations. The eggs are collected and stored in a cool and dry place until they are used. In nature, silk moths lay their eggs on mulberry leaves. Next, coming to honeybees and apiculture. Rearing of honeybees is called apiculture. The saliva of honeybees converts nectar into honey and the bees settle the honey into the individual cells of beehive. Traditional method of collecting honey is to search for beehives in the forests and hills, and bees are smoked out of the hive. In India, 3 species of honeybees are commonly found, namely Apis dorsata, Apis indica and Apis mellifera. Apis mellifera is a European honeybee. Apis adamsoni is the African honeybee. The colonies of honeybees are perennial. A healthy colony has about 40 to 50,000 bees. Each colony has only one queen, few male bees called as drones, and several thousands of worker bees. Queen and worker bees develop from the fertilized eggs, while the drones develop by parthenogenesis from unfertilized eggs. When the hive is active for some time, the combs are removed from the frames. The bees are brushed aside from the comb before extracting the honey. Let us look into lac industry and lac insect. Lac is the resinous protective secretion of the tiny lac insect belonging to the order Hemiptera. It is a pest on a number of both wild and cultivated plants. The most common and the most widely occurring species of lac insect in India is Lacifera lacca, which produces the bulk of commercial lac. The female insect lives in a special chamber called lac cell. The male fertilizes the female while it is in the lac cell. The eggs develop into minute boat-shaped red-colored larvae. A healthy female produces about 300 to 1000 larvae. The male lac cell assumes a slipper-like appearance. After the completion of second molt and the pupal stages, the adult male, which may or may not have wings, emerges out. The male lives for only 60 to 92 hours after emergence. The female larva becomes swollen and assumes the form of a pear-shaped or circular bag. It occupies the entire space inside the lac cell. The female lac cell attains a size which is several times larger than a male lac cell. The female continues to secrete lac until the eggs are laid. Larvae hatch out from the eggs when the temperature is suitable. Now let us learn about some of the insects that are beneficial to man. Apart from the above mentioned 3 insects which help in the economy of man, there are other insects which are beneficial as pollinators, cleaners, in controlling of pests, as food, and also in preparation of dyes. Let us learn about few of the insects that act as pollinators. It is mentioned above that about 80% of insect pollination is carried out by bees alone. In addition to bees, other insects serve man by pollinating the flowers. Examples are butterflies, moths, wasps, ants, beetles, and flies. Insects as scavengers. A few insects feed upon the bodies of dead animals, plants, and other waste materials. Thus, these insects prevent emanation of bad odor in and around living areas. Silverfish, termites, ants, houseflies, blowflies, maggots, beetles, cockroaches, and many other larvae are active cleaners. Now, let us see some of the insects that are useful in pest control. Many pests which harm the agricultural crops and other useful plants are preyed upon by insects. Predaceous insects are ground beetles, wasps, and a few flies. Aphids and scale insects are eaten by lady bird beetles. Some of the predaceous insects are reared in orchards to control scale insects. Insects which produce dyes. The dyes such as tannin, cochineal, and crimson lake are derived from the dried bodies of certain scale insects living on cacti. Insects that are harmful to man. We learnt about that some insects are of great economical importance to man. However, there are other insects which adversely affect his economy. Some of these insects damage and destroy crops, stored grains, household materials, and also spread diseases in man and domestic animals. These insects are known as harmful insects because they cause extensive damage to person and property. This is a global problem and is not restricted to any one country. Entomologists all over the world are trying to find solutions to solve this global problem. From the point of view of the economic loss caused, these insects may be categorized into few groups: crop pests, stored grain pests, household pests, insects that transmit diseases to man, insects harmful to domestic animals, and termites. Crop pests. Many insects damage agricultural crops, fruits and vegetables in the field. The damage they cause is enormous and runs into lakhs and lakhs of rupees. In addition, several soil inhibiting small insects attack underground parts of sugarcane plant and cause heavy damage. The grubs of Coleoptera are called wireworms. They are root feeders. They are extremely destructive to sugarcane and cereals. Some insects are of great economical importance to man, whereas some other insects adversely affect the economy. Some of these insects damage and destroy crops, stored grains, household materials, and also spread diseases in man and domestic animals. These are also known as harmful insects. Now let us summarize the topic. Arthropods show greatest diversity in habitats and feeding habits, which enable them to become the largest group of animals, both in the number of species and individual number. The appendages of arthropods are jointed. The body is covered by a hard exoskeleton that gives protection and prevents loss of water from the body. It is periodically cast off, called as molting. The body cavity is a hemocoel and the blood vascular system is of open type. Gills, trachea and book lungs are respiratory organs. Excretion is carried out by Malpighian tubules and green glands. The nervous system has a brain, a ganglionated ventral nerve cord. Gonads and gonoducts are paired. Development may be direct or indirect with larval stages. Prawns, lobsters, etc. that are economically important are members of this group. This group also includes insects like silk moth, honeybee, lac insect, etc. that are beneficial for man. Also included are harmful insects like housefly, mosquito, etc. Onychophora shows characters of both annelids and arthropods, apart from having their own characters. Onychophora is represented by a single genus Peripatus, which is called as connecting link between annelids and arthropods. Based on the economic importance, insects are of two types, beneficial and harmful. Silkworm, honeybee and lac insect are useful insects. Sericulture deals with the breeding and rearing of silkworms. Rearing of honeybees for obtaining honey and other useful products is called apiculture. Lac obtained from lac insects is of commercial importance. Insects also serve man by actively participating in the pollination of flowers of agricultural crops and other plants in orchards, farms and gardens. By devouring the dead bodies of animals and other waste materials, they help to keep the surroundings clean. Some insects are also used for controlling the pests on agricultural crops. Now from this chapter, there are few questions that are frequently asked. Let us look into the examination model questions. Answer the following in about 30 lines. Describe the general characters of phylum Arthropoda. When this question is asked, we can explain about all the characteristic features of Arthropoda, what are the animals or what are the insects that are placed in this group. Describe the general characters of class Crustacea. Describe the general characters of subphylum Onychophora. Describe the general characters of class Insecta. Write essay on harmful insects. Write an essay on control methods of harmful insects. Write an essay on beneficial insects. Write an essay on sericulture, apiculture and lac cultivation. Apart from these long answers, there are few questions that are asked for about you can write in 10 lines. Now examples. Mention the different subphyla of Arthropoda with examples. Write a short note on Pentastomida. Write a short note on Trilobtomorpha. Write a short note on Merostomata. Write a short note on Mandibulata. Write a short note on Peripatus. Write a short note on Diplopoda. Write a short note on Chilopoda. Write in detail about annelid affinities of Onychophora. Write a short note on arthropod affinities of Onychophora. Onychophora characters of Peripatus. Then there are some more questions like how honeybees are useful to man. So we can mention why honeybees are called as the producers of honey, and how many kinds of bees are present in a beehive, how man collects the honey from these beehives, etc. Then what is lac? How is it formed? Also write briefly on insects which are injurious to crops. Write on household pests. Write on insects which transmit diseases to man. With this, we have come to the conclusion of the chapter. Thank you.